Know that this is a pretty tough job, tough industry, and I really respect them for what they do. But at the very least, keep me on a consistent schedule. I don't know what's going on, but what's going on, folks? Eddie Carrington, mayor of Flux City, and I am headed to the east side due to a call I just received stating that the garbage over at my development has not been picked up in quite some time. And for whatever reason, I thought that the entity that I contracted to do the garbage was pretty consistent. So it's kind of hard to believe that we're not getting the garbage picked up as consistently as I assumed it was happening. So now I got to go lay some eyes on it. What I'm a bit concerned about is maybe it's due to the snow and it possibly blocking the gates to a point where the entity that we contracted was not able to get what they needed to get due to the snow piling up by the gates. And I did contract somebody, but I did not let them know while doing the snow to pay close attention to the garbage area. So that could have been more or less my mistake, but I want to go lay some eyes on it, and I'm gonna bring you along with me, try to get your thoughts on what's happening, what's going on. I definitely don't want my tenants dealing with a backup of trash when they just moved in and they haven't, in some instances, been there over a month yet. So come with me as I go check this out, because believe it or not, this is a pretty massive issue in my eyes due to the fact that I don't want these tenants to have to deal with a backup in trash. And also the neighbors that live next to these dumpsters, I don't want them being worried that they're going to have to deal with rats and roaches and all types of other things that come with backup and garbage in their community. So pretty big issue. Got the call, hopped in the car right away, and I'm headed to the east side now. So it does look like, for whatever reason, they haven't been picking up our garbage. I'm not sure what's going on. I ended up shoveling a little bit of the snow that was in front of the actual garbage bin, but it wasn't enough to stop them from being able to open up the gate to get to the actual dumpster. And it looks like this has been here for a few weeks. I haven't been really paying too much attention to it because I always thought they were picking it up already, but clearly they have not been picking up my garbage, and I am pissed, to be honest. I'm gonna be making a few phone calls, zapping some emails, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But once again, we don't want our tenants to have to deal with this type of garbage when they just moved in not too long ago. And of course we're gonna have a lot of garbage due to the fact that people are moving in, opening up new products for their units, whether it be lights or bed, or more specifically bedding, furniture, things of that nature. But for whatever reason, the entity that we hired is not picking up our garbage. So once again, I'll be making a few phone calls, and I'll keep you updated on how that kind of fares out. So. So today is the following day of me finding out that our service provider for our rubbish removal was not doing what they were supposed to. So I immediately went home yesterday, zapped off a number of emails, CC'd a few folks, and by this morning I got a response and a statement stating that they're gonna make this a priority of them coming out, getting our garbage can cleaned out. So I made a stop inside really quickly, but now I'm about to go over here and check and see if the dumpster has been cleaned out or not. I hope it has been. And I'm still kind of flabbergasted because this is an entity that is a pretty respectable one. And for them to not be able to keep up with this small dumpster that we have for whatever reason kind of has me concerned. And this isn't the first issue that I've had with this entity, but let's see what we got here. All right, so it does look like they came and cleaned out the dumpster for us, but they didn't take all of the garbage. At the very least, whoever was driving this truck could have hopped out and tossed these 4 bags into their dumpster, but whatever. At the end of the day, I'm the one that bagged these bags up, or at least 3 of the 4, and my assumption was that they'd be able to, when they did come out and take care of this can, they'd be able to, at the very least, easily grab those bags and toss them in along with the other rubbish that they have not came out to get in potentially over a month. But I digress. I'm just happy that they made it out and picked up the can today pretty quickly. But I'm hoping that they stay on their job here because, once again, this is probably the second or third issue that I've had with this entity. And I know that this is a pretty tough job, tough industry. And I really respect them for what they do. But at the very least, keep me on a consistent schedule. I don't know what's going on, but for now, crisis averted. So when I actually got the call that the garbage wasn't being picked up, I'm literally in the middle of doing things like wrapping up an owner statement in order to send over to my funding partners to process a payment that needs to be taken care of for things like utilities of the site, property management fees, the retainage that we've held for the GC up until this point. So I'm sitting here working on a close to $500,000 pay app, and I'm also on my to-do list needing to get over my financials. Quarterly, I have to send certain things over to certain funding partners as per the loan documents to make sure that I'm financially stable throughout the entirety of this process. And so every quarter I have to send things like balance sheets and profit and loss statements, and eventually my income taxes and things of that nature, updates on when insurance is expired and or switched over from builder's risk to landlord insurance, all those types of things kind of putting in place and sending over to the funding partners of this project. And I get this call and they're like, look, the garbage isn't being picked up. And technically that is more or less something that the property manager usually takes care of, but I have yet to forward that responsibility over to the property manager. I just need to make sure that this entity that we have contracted is doing their job. And at the end of the day, eventually I will get to a point where I switch over the responsibility to the property manager. But when I heard that the garbage company was not picking up the garbage, I mean, and that's something I need to take care of. That's something that, at least at this point, I'm hopping into action, driving over to the site, seeing what can be done in order to potentially help gain access to the garbage cans if in fact they are blocked, or if they're not, snapping photos, sending images to my contact that I've built a rapport with over the last few years. And truth be told, the start of our contract, the cans that they'd come and pick up were empty, nothing in them for probably, I don't know, 2-3 months, other than maybe a box or a couple of bags of rubbish that we ended up tossing into these dumpsters due to the fact that we didn't have any tenants until January of this year. But I digress, and I just want to point out just how things like this pop up. As developers, you have to figure out in real time what is more important, and you have to potentially find yourself driving to a site and laying eyes on certain aspects of an issue to see if this is something that you may need to manage on your end, or if it's something that your property managers can tend to. But at the end of the day, this is yet another example of just how passive real estate development is. No matter what entities you have in place, no matter how big of an organization you contract out with in order to manage certain aspects of your development, you're still going to run into issues that you're going to need to resolve. And so a developer is really a master at solving problems and in real time. And so you got to really be mindful of that being one of the most important traits you needing to have as a developer, is the ability to solve problems. I appreciate you chiming in, listening to me ramble. Mayor of Flux City chiming out. I'll see you in the next video.